Hello and welcome to Europhoria, a podcast about all the great glam and garish from Eurovision past. My name's Roland Bodnam, and as ever, and for the first time in a few weeks, I'm actually joined by the actual, physical, real Isobel Chilman. Hello, Isobel.
Yay, I'm back.
Yay. How have you been?
I'm very well, thank you very much. I've had a very lovely holiday. I've been away for just over 3 weeks now in Canada and America.
Yeah.
But it's been lovely. I'm actually very glad to be back, though.
Yeah. Glad to be back. Glad to be back behind the microphone. And glad to be in possession of a lovely bottle of Carta Roja red wine. Would you like a glass?
Yes, please. Where's it from?
Spain.
Good.
It's Europe.
Good.
You've been away.
I have been away. I went to Canada to go see my parents for Christmas and New Year. I surprised my mother. It was very exciting. Aww. She did slightly get usurped, though, as you mentioned on a previous podcast,
yes,
by the fact that I had a tweet that went viral.
You became a social media star.
For about a day. But my dad thought that was hilarious. So that got more attention on Christmas Day than either me or my mother did. Just that tweet. Oh. You did make me laugh when I listened to the podcast with your intro and about it. Because the way you describe it sounds like... You said like, oh, it was as much a surprise to Isobel as it was to me. It sounds like I'm pregnant or something. It's just a tweet.
I mean, in the age of social media, it kind of is. If something goes viral,
that's as big as being pregnant.
You sit your parents down and you go, Mum, Dad, I've gone viral.
I felt a bit grotty though, because it was it was quite funny at first when it was BuzzFeed, and my dad found like an Australian newspaper, and I had someone from Norway message me on Facebook asking if they can put it in their paper and stuff. But then my dad found it on like the Sun and the Mirror websites, and I felt a bit horrid.
Did they not have to ask for permission?
No,
they just do it. That's what they do. Oh dear. Well, there you go. But that was very exciting.
It was very funny. And Tim, hello Tim, if you ever listen to this,
Tim,
the guy who actually was Mistletoe Man, lovely chap. I had a little natter to him on Facebook, Twitter. Sorry.
What a nice guy.
Really good egg.
So that was just your journey there.
That was just my journey there.
Before we carry on, here we go. It hasn't happened I'm gonna have to stand up. Hang on. Ready?
Yay!
Oh, that was lovely. That was a good old classic red wine pop.
Oh, I loved it.
It's been a while. Right, here we go. And let's just have
a glug.
Have a little listen. Here we go. Oh, that kept pouring for a while. That was quite a long pour. There we go.
Okay, we're quite drunk.
Oh dear. So yeah, and then you went to, where else did you go?
I went to Canada, so I went to Vancouver to see my parents.
Yep.
That was a long and arduous journey, but and spent Christmas Day morning on my own in a hotel in Vancouver. Just like charging my phone off of a computer in the lobby because I couldn't get any more bleak.
Merry Christmas.
My charger wouldn't work. No, it was nice actually. I Skyped my fella, and the hotel staff gave me free pastries. Because they felt bad for me. Then I went to Austin for 4 days.
Yeah.
That was great fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, went during a cold snap.
Oh.
So it was boiling the day before we got there, and the day after we left. Freezing, minus numbers while we were there.
No.
Though. Yeah, genuinely.
That must be rare. Austin's like, Texas is like desert, right?
Apparently it has weird weather there. It can drop a significant amount in a very short space of time. But I danced with lots of drag queens. Some RuPaul's drag queens too as well.
No way. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Met Cynthia Lee Fontaine. So freaking good.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And saw Kennedy Davenport perform.
Wow. Okay. So Austin was good to you then.
Austin was rich. Oh my God. Austin was really good to me.
Oh wow.
I loved it. I cannot recommend going enough if you haven't been. I want to go back when it's hotter. Another time. I would love to go back. It was, there wasn't enough time.
Brought to you by the Austin Tourist Board.
Yeah. And then I went to LA, and LA is wonderful. I've been a couple of times and love it. And have friends there who are also wonderful. Thank you for having me, Alice and Paul. And their puppy Dino that I got to play with every day. He's a little idiot. He was great.
Meanwhile, I went...
Oh, no, wait.
Sorry.
You have to wait a second. Because...
Isobel.
I have gifts for you. Oh, can you hear me?
Isobel, what have you done?
No, it's fine.
No, I know.
It's fine. It's good gifts. It's not, bugger. Okay.
Shall I close my eyes?
No, first one is, this is your first gift.
It's a key ring in the shape of a heart, and it says "I love Vancouver" with a Canadian flag on the back. Thank you, Isobel.
Because you love Vancouver, right?
I love Vancouver
You
so
love
much.
Vancouver.
What's
Yeah.
this?
And this is a gift that I found in a wonderful bookstore called the Iliad in LA.
Ooh. There you go. It's in a nice paper bag for you ASMR fans listening. Okay, here we go. Pull it out. That's amazing. That looks like it's a square book. It's quite small, the size of a coaster, with big letters. Cliff Richard, The Way I See It, complete and unabridged. It's tiny.
It's teeny tiny, and it's so it's basically a book from this. What's the date in the front again?
Oh my god,
Is
it's
it from
real.
the 70s or the 60s?
It is.
I feel like it might be from the 60s.
Let me see. I can't open a book. 1968.
So it's a book from 1968 that it's basically Cliff Richard just talking about his Christianity and answering questions that he gets asked all the time about what he thinks about drugs, being a rock and roller, but a Christian rock and roller. I got about a third of the way through.
I just opened it. I'm going to read just like one sentence. Acting, singing, performing, the applause and excitement. This was a sort of drug, and like a drug, it wore off. It was temporary and unreal. Cliff Richard, ladies and gentlemen. That is amazing. Oh, and a lovely picture of him on the back.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah, that is Isobel. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That's amazing. We'll put it on Instagram.
Yeah. I should take a photo.
Yeah, we'll do that. Isobel, that's ever so kind of you. I feel like we should move on and move straight into Eurovision news.
Eurovision news.
Here we go. We're actually recording this on Wednesday evening, the day before Thursday when this goes out. So actually, this will be our most up to date news.
Very up to date.
We have had. Do you have any news?
No, I forgot to look.
I've got a couple of bits. I mean, it's all very up in the air right now because all the countries are basically deciding who their entry is going to be. So I listed a fair amount of the countries that have already decided, and there's been some more countries that decide. Just a quick one. Bloody Israel are going all out this year, and I don't know if it's the first time they've done this, but they're doing a proper like The Voice X Factor style TV series to decide who is going to be their entry to Eurovision. Nice. So it's called Rising Star 2017, and each episode has a number of people who go on, and then the public vote, and they go through rounds. So it's like our Eurovision You Decide, but like 10 times the show. So they're in the middle of that. They've just done show 4, and there's a number of people going through to the final, and we can keep everyone updated with that. But if you can go online and have a look, it's bloody they better get a bloody good act out of it, because they've clearly invested a lot of money in just the
So Israel are going to win this year then?
Well, we'll see. Another bit of news, this is slightly older, but I saw it and I thought it was interesting. The San Marinan, or as it puts it here in this article, San Marinese, from San Marino, singer Valentina Monetta, who I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the song that was originally called the Facebook song, or the Facebook song, but had to be changed to the Social Network song because they're not allowed to talk about actual brands? So that's her, and she actually has been San Marino's representative in 2012, 2013, and 2014. She, about a week ago, went on a Facebook rant and said that she...
Oh my God, I love a Facebook rant!
Said that she had had enough of fucking fans. And that's the noun, not the verb.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It took me a minute to get that, yes. Good.
So she basically on Facebook, ironically enough, wrote, "Enough is enough. This is not nice. I'm getting bad messages that ask me if I'm dead. Damn, I'm alive. And only have a simple and very private life. The fact that I do not use Facebook all the time and I do not participate at the Eurovision Song Contest anymore does not mean that I do not live. And I do not want to justify myself. Fuck all these fucking cyber fans that I'm removing right now from my profile. Bye-bye." She had a bit of a
How old
go.
is she? Because she does. That sounds like the rant of an older lady who doesn't really know how to use social media and is just getting angry.
She's 41. Yeah. She doesn't
gets
look
into that
41.
bracket.
She looks very, very young. She's got a young face.
It's like when my mum gets angry at Facebook.
Oh, jeez. Your mum go on a Facebook rant?
Oh, no, not on Facebook rants, but she'll get annoyed at stuff that happens on Facebook. I'm like, dude, just leave it. Just leave it.
So I think that's sort of the news that we're going to cover, because we've actually got quite a lot to cover. We already covered your trip, my presents, that news. Let's get down to any other business.
Any other business.
Do you have some any other business?
I do indeed. So my very in the know Eurovision pal Benji.
Yes.
Reminded me after listening to last week's episode, Jessica Garlick was not Fame Academy. She was in fact Pop Idol. I didn't even bother to check.
No.
I was so sure that she was Fame Academy.
It's all right, though, because it meant that we could have a little natter about Lamar, and I quite like that.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There's always time to talk about Lamar.
Yeah, and I sang David Snedden's song, which really made me chuckle when I was editing it.
Rather you didn't, but never mind. And he also mentioned another bit that annoyingly I couldn't get the clip of, because weirdly you can watch it in America, but not in the UK, that both Cheryl, as you kept calling her last week, Cheryl Baker and David Van Day were on an episode of Celebrity Coach Trip.
Oh my God. Together?
Not as a couple, on separate couples, and it was amazing. There's a clip which, if you don't live in the UK and Channel 4 haven't blocked it for you, you can watch this. But there was a clip of the episode where all the teams were voting who they wanted to kick off. And it goes on, all of these teams, the Chuckle Brothers are on it, and they all vote for it's David Van Day and Tony Robinson.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Tony Blackburn.
Tony Blackburn,
that makes sense.
It's David Van Day and Tony Blackburn on a team, and it goes around everyone, they go, oh, we're going to vote for David and Tony. And it's nothing personal, first on, first off, kind of that, it's nothing, it's just that you didn't join in with this earlier. It's nothing personal, we've all got to choose someone. Goes round to Cheryl Baker and her partner, and she goes, I'm voting for David Van Day and Tony Blackburn, because I really don't like you, David. I work with you. I hate you more than anyone else I've ever hated in the entire world. I cannot stand you. I think you're a vile person. Just lays it all out.
God.
And then it cuts to her to the camera, talking to the camera after. She's like, I've worked with that guy. He's the worst. I'd never want to be near him ever again. She lets loose. She pulls no punches.
Oh my God.
It's
I love
amazing.
Cheryl even more. That is amazing.
So if you can find Cheryl Baker, David Van Day, Celebrity Coach Trip.
It might be on 4OD in the UK.
Ooh,
Yeah, so you might be able to get it there in the UK.
Yeah, it might be actually. That might be why they've taken it off YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube elsewhere.
It's well worth watching.
Oh, I'm gonna watch that. That sounds amazing. I've got an any other business. Mm-hmm. We had another, and we always love receiving them. We had another lovely email from a listener.
Yay!
From Alfredo Rodriguez in Spain. He was very kind. He just said he is having a great time listening to the podcast, and he loves our chemistry. Which
Alfredo, no.
I think he got confused when you talked about wetting your whistle last episode. It's not like that, Alfredo. It's very
very platonic in every sense. Word.
All right, that sounds too much now.
No, we love each other.
Yeah, we do. So yeah, thank you very much, and we love.
Yes, thank you, Alfredo. And I wasn't here as well for there was another chappie.
For Thomas Barlow and Daniela Noren. I've got one more bit of any other business, actually. I built that up a bit dramatically. So again, it's Bucks Fizz related. So over Christmas, I went to
Cheryl Baker's house.
No, I went to my father's house.
Okay,
my dad. And
your dad's Bobby G.
No,
no.
I just realised. No, but I was talking to him about the whole Bucks Fizz story and everything like that, and he was going, yeah. I was like, oh, right, okay, you like read about it or something. He was like, no. My brother-in-law's really good mates with the keyboardist from Bucks Fizz, and he was in the accident. Yeah. And then he got a picture out of him and my step-uncle and the guy whose name I can't remember, apologies, who was the three of them hanging out, who was the keyboardist for Bucks Fizz for like decades. Probably longer than.
Can we get him on the show? Does he still know him?
Yeah, there's a picture of him.
Well,
So
let's hook this up. I love this.
Yeah.
6 degrees of Eurovision.
I know,
We're in
right?
now.
Yeah, so he was in the accident. He got really injured as well. Basically, they all got really injured.
Shitting hell.
And but then he carried on keyboarding for them for ages. So yeah, a little bit of any other business there.
I'm over the moon.
I told you they're all over Kent and the southeast. Bucks Fizz are. You can't avoid them.
Oh well, we've got to get someone from Bucks Fizz. Let's get the keyboardist.
Yeah,
Bucks
let's
Fizz
get the
keyboardist.
Yeah.
Right, brilliant.
So there we go. That was the any other bidders. That was the news of the Eurovision news. So Isobel, unless I'm forgetting something, shall we move on to the Eurovision stories?
Forgetting nothing, mate. Go for it.
No, okay, here we go. So Isobel, I'm going to begin as I always do, and I'm going to tell you about the Estonian singing revolution.
Okay.
So let me take you back to the turn of the millennium. It was a simpler time. We were just emerging from the panic of the millennium bug, which had warnings of market collapse and planes falling from the sky. We were all right. And
maybe we were at the time. Maybe it's just taken 16 years.
Yeah, a gradual process. God, maybe Trump is the millennium bug.
Oh, Jesus, a big orange bug.
And the UK charts saw #1 hits from, and this is quite a year, #1 hits from Atomic Kitten, Hearsay,
Yes.
Emma Bunton,
Yes.
Jerry Halliwell,
Yes.
S Club 7, 5, Blue, Kylie, Daniel Bedingfield, So Solid Crew, and Bob the Builder. What a year.
What a bloody year. That's peak. That's peak pop.
We didn't know how lucky we had it.
I know. I did. I still do. I think about those times regularly.
Just lie in bed
Late
at night.
90s, early noughties.
Yeah, it was
I
great.
was at my best. I think everyone else was at their best.
Yeah. It was great. People were doing good. So up until this point, believe it or not, no ex-Soviet country had ever won the Eurovision Song Contest.
Because the Russians blocked it.
No, well, they did until '85. But in the following
I just meant in
15...
like a hacking scandal type thing.
God, oh jeez. Careful, they'll hack us. So in the 15 years since the Eastern Soviet states had rejoined the Eurovision Song Contest, no Eastern country had won. This was about to change thanks to an Estonian rock singer named Tanel Padar and a man from the Caribbean who couldn't at the time speak a word of Estonian. But before we go to that, I want to have a look at the deep relationship the country of Estonia has with singing.
Okay.
So let's take it back to the 80s. And actually, let's jump almost straight back to where we finished our last episode where we were talking about the Soviet Union. So 1985, if you can remember, Gorbachev basically wanted to open up the barriers, open up the borders, open up the cultural divides, and that was kind of where we left it. It was we left it on a sort of high, everyone was rejoined. Mm-hmm. Actually, it wasn't all sunshine and roses, and it's nice that we get to explore it a little bit deeper. Basically, if you think about it, when an oppressed group of people suddenly gain access to a whole array of culture and knowledge that it hadn't had access to for decades, it causes quite a lot of upset, quite a big shift. This is exactly what was happening in Estonia in the late 80s. So suddenly Estonians gained contact with immigrants from the West, and also they had a sort of informal political relations with Finland and had access to Finnish TV showing Western lifestyles and that sort of thing. And this led to sort of widespread dissatisfaction with the Soviet system, and there were lots of previously sort of unrecognised issues which had been kept secret by the Moscow government, and they were suddenly coming out and being revealed, and there was a lot of political discord. And this discord basically grew and grew throughout the late 80s. Estonia effectively became one of the first countries in the Eastern Bloc to begin sort of widespread protests against the Soviet powers. So this sort of culminated with the first expression sort of in a physical way of this national feeling occurred in 1988 on the 14th of May.
Best year ever.
The best year ever.
Best year
1988.
ever. Yeah.
Because you were born.
Yes.
Were you born by the 14th of May?
10th of November, mate.
Not quite yet. Well, while you were just a small fetus. God, you wonder why there's no chemistry.
This is legit lines that Roland uses to chat up women with.
Do you ever think about when you were a small fetus? No. So there was a large gathering on the 14th of May at the Tartu Pop Music Festival. So basically at this festival, it was a sort of a standard pop festival that normally occurs. But basically they started singing these very patriotic songs, and that was about them coming together and being joined in unison and unity.
Beautiful.
Yes, it was. So this was the first sort of signal, and this, although it seems quite sort of small, the singing of these songs, it was, the first sign of a country standing up against the Soviet regime. Even though Gorbachev has sort of opened these boundaries and stuff, there was a lot of unrest. 2 months later, there were similar occurrences at the Rock Summer Festival. And at this event, there was newly composed patriotic music being performed. So this sort of patriotic singing and these songs were starting to gain headwinds. They were starting to bring people together. All of this was building up enthusiasm and passion for independence from the Russian rulers. And it basically came to a head at a song festival called, it's a great name, it's called Laulupidou.
Laulupidou.
Laulupidou. So at this song festival, it was held at the Tallinn Song Festival Arena. This festival in particular holds a lot of significance to Estonians. It actually has been going on for years. It began in 1869, and it brings thousands of people together, and they're sort of amateur choirs, and they all sing together and celebrate their country.
Lovely.
Now, when the Russians took over, when the Soviets took over, the festival was forced to include a number of songs from a prescribed song list that were all very pro-Soviet, and it really clashed with the original reason behind the festival and the singing, which was a celebration of Estonia and who they are and their national people.
Also, a selection of pro-Soviet songs doesn't sound like the biggest giggle, does it?
It's like the Intervision Song Contest, isn't it? It's like, we can do it, but just do it in the way that we say that fun is.
Yeah.
So in June 1988, people came to the festival as expected, and a number of pro-independence songs were sung. Except when it was supposed to end that night, people refused to leave. And spontaneous...
I don't like to end the party either, guys. I totally get what you mean.
Keep it going. But spontaneous songs broke out amongst the crowd, and everyone just kept on singing and singing and singing. So actually, people refused to leave, and more people sort of heard about people staying, and they joined the festival. And the singing continued through the night, into the next day, through that night, into the next day, and then through that night. The singing went on for 3 nights and 3 days, and was the trigger for national reforms.
Love it.
There was one more event.
Parched at the end of that. I have a very sore throat.
How many times can you sing Wonderwall before everyone gets sick and tired and leaves?
That's all they sang.
Never get tired of Wonderwall. Everyone's singing it along. Just start it again. So there was one more, and all of these events build up to what is called the Estonian Singing Revolution. There was one more on the 11th of September 1988, and it was a festival that was set up as a mark of this uprising, of this rebellion against the Soviet leaders. And it was a festival called Song of Estonia. And this event brought together almost 300,000 Estonian citizens to express their dreams and ambitions for independence. They all sung together in unison. It's really beautiful. There's a video of it on YouTube. Everyone's singing these beautiful songs, and these choirs, and there's composers and conductors all there singing this amazing, peaceful protest. It's using the power of song to protest against the Soviets, who actually, had tanks effectively aimed at the city of Tallinn. They had tanks, driving around to oppress the citizens of Estonia. So this is this beautiful protest. That number, 300,000, was actually a quarter of the entire Estonian population at the time.
Badass.
Yeah, a quarter of people. So it showed true unity and the ability to peacefully stand up against the ruling aggressors. One professor from the Tartu University, Rein Wiedemann, is quoted as saying, "We had no fear while we were singing." So this was being replicated in a number of countries on the Eastern Bloc, Soviet countries on the Eastern Bloc. And this sort of peaceful protest was being replicated all across different countries. The biggest one was on August 23rd, 1 year later, 1989. And it's reported that almost 2 million people joined their hands to form a human chain across Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania in one of the largest examples of peaceful protest in history. So what this began was the toppling of the Soviet Union and the establishment of eastern states all across the Eastern Bloc. By 1992, the UN officially recognised Estonia as an independent country.
Good.
They did all this by singing. So it's clear that music is very important to Estonia and Estonians. So it only seems to make sense that Estonia became the first ex-Soviet Eastern Bloc country to win the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yay!
And they won in 2001 with the song Everybody, performed by Tanel Padar and Dave Benton. They won in front of 35,000 people in Copenhagen. And as an aside, not only was it the first song from an ex-Soviet state to win, but it was also the first song featuring a black singer to win the contest too.
In what year?
2001. 2001's late.
That's very late. I mean, are we going to have to start? I know there's the hashtag Oscars so white. Are we going to have to start doing Eurovision so white? Come on.
Well, he won. Dave Benton. Not only was he the first black singer to win the contest, he was also at the time, oldest person to win the contest. He was 50.
50's the oldest.
At the time, that was the oldest.
Eurovision's a young man's game.
It is a young man's game, which it doesn't seem too old at all, considering we've had the Russian granny since. I know they didn't win, but for entry-wise, I mean, their collective age is bloody thousands of years, basically. Not quite. So he was... Dave Benton was born on the Caribbean island of Aruba. He then moved to the United States to pursue his music career. He worked with the likes of the Drifters, Tom Jones, Billy Ocean. So, a decent way. In the 80s, he'd moved to the Netherlands and was performing in Europe. And it was there that he met his soon-to-be wife on a cruise ship. Aww. His wife was called Maris, like the potato.
Good.
Like Maris Piper. Maris was from Estonia. The two of them eventually settled down together in Estonia by 1997, and he still lives there with his wife and two daughters, Sissy and Lisa.
Lovely stuff.
As a little coincidental aside, during his musical career, he performed in the German production of City Lights, after which he was asked to go on the Australian tour of the production to replace the as of yet not, but soon to be UK Eurovision entry Engelbert Humperdinck.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is. Everything in Eurovision world is... I think everything in the world is linked together by Eurovision.
Also, Benton is octolingual. He speaks English, Spanish, Papiamento, don't know what language that is, Dutch, French, German, Portuguese, and eventually he did learn Estonian.
Just showing off, really, isn't it, mate? Come on, you're making the rest of us look bad.
So let's have a little listen. This is Estonia's first ever win. I don't know whether to say I'll say this now. Quite widely on the internet when I was looking it up, a lot of people refer to it as the worst ever Eurovision winning song, which I think's harsh.
Okay,
let's have a little listen. So, so this is the chorus of the Estonian winning song contest.
Sounds like Basement Jacks.
It does. Maybe they sampled
boom,
it.
Boom, 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 and a bang, 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 boom, bang, boom.
Come on, everybody, let's sing along and feel the power of the song. Come on, everybody, let's feel the part that all.
It's Basement Jacks mixed with like a children's TV show. It is.
It's all right. Hey, so I'm
really into that.
I quite like it as well. I don't think it's the I mean I couldn't necessarily name a.
Was it a bad year for Eurovision?
Everyone says it was a very weak year for Eurovision.
That's a very fun song though.
It's a
so
fun
if that
song.
one won, well deserved Estonia.
Yeah.
Good
well
job,
done,
guys.
Dave Benton.
Yeah.
So I've just got one last quote from a guy called Mart Laar, who was a former minister for Estonia. And he said the Estonian government was extremely happy when Estonia won the Eurovision Song Contest. And it actually came at a time of crucial negotiations to enter the European Union. The head of the delegation at the time said to Dave Benton on the night of the victory, he said, "Mr. Benton, you've done more for this country in 1 week than some of our politicians do in their whole lifetime." The power of song, isn't it?
UK government doing Brexit talks right now. Listen up.
So Mr. Laar, the former minister, summed it up best when he said, "We sung us free from the Soviet occupation and we sung us into Europe." 2 years later, Estonia was voted into membership of the EU by a 2/3 majority.
Yay! I had no idea Estonia was so into singing.
No, I know.
And it was so important part of their culture, and I love it so much. And I want to go to Estonia and sing there now. I don't care if the Estonians want it. I want to sing.
It really is quite moving seeing that many people come together and sing.
That's awesome.
For the pride of their country. So if you do want to check it out, have a look on YouTube. It's the Laulupidu, LAULUPIDU. Well, there we go, Isobel. We've learnt yet another thing about the history of Europe.
You just look so like, and now we're done. Podcast over.
And now I'll close my laptop.
Finished. Bye. No, great story, Roland.
Thanks. Shall we move on to yours?
Okay.
I'm gonna enjoy my wine now and listen.
Okay, good stuff. So, this week, I am going to talk about Andorra.
Andorra? Is it a ski resort?
The Andorrans are going to be very angry with you.
I don't think we've got any Andorran listeners yet. I haven't checked the statistics.
Well, we better do now because I'm going to talk about Andorra.
Right, okay. Well, they'll be happy with you, not with me.
They're going to bloody love me.
I don't know much about Andorra.
You're going to find out now.
I'm very excited.
You're going to find out basically everything about it. It's not a big place.
Let me get comfortable.
Andorra is in fact not a ski resort, but it is a tiny independent principality situated between France and Spain in the Pyrenees Mountains. It's known for its ski resorts.
Yes.
And also as a tax haven status that encourages duty-free shopping. Andorra is tiny. It only has a population of just under 80,000 people.
Oh,
it's a teeny tiny place. And by the looks of it, basically, if you can sing in Andorra, they let you enter the Eurovision Song Contest because it's so tiny. So Andorra has participated in the Eurovision Song Contest 6 times, debuting in the 2004 contest.
Well done.
Interest in the contest had been great for a long time, despite the local Andorran broadcaster, RTVA, not showing the contest until recent years. So in the past, citizens could watch it on Spanish and French television stations.
You could just tune yourself into them.
As of 2017, Andorra is the only country to have participated in the contest and never to have featured in the final. So serial do not qualify countries. Montenegro and San Marino both qualified for their first final in 2014, and Czech Republic broke their spate of bad luck in 2016. So leaving just Andorra. So as a bit of info to do with the very few Eurovision entries, little background. In the finals, Andorra has always famously given its 12 points to Spain every single time, which does... Oh, no, actually, not every single time, the exception of 2007, which I think they gave Portugal 12. They don't stray far. No. In December 2009, the RTVA announced that Andorra would withdraw from the 2010 contest due to a lack of funding for an Andorran entry. This came after the RTVA submitted an entry from the contest in case funding could be found to submit it.
They're a tax haven, aren't they? Can't they get a bit of that tax money and just put it in?
Clearly not. Andorra did not participate in the 2011 contest due to financial difficulties or in the 2012 contest for the same reason. On the 8th of November 2011, it was announced by the Andorran broadcaster, RTVA, that they would leave the EBU due to financial reasons and a cut of subsidies from the Andorran government.
Oh, no.
But after a meeting with the EBU director, Ingrid Deltenre,
yeah, it's close enough.
Spelling, in June 2012, they decided to stay in the EBU, but said participation in Eurovision is still unlikely. And indeed, they have not participated. Then they didn't participate up until now. They're not participating in 2017 either. So my bit this week is that I want to start a campaign to get Andorra back in the Eurovision Song Contest.
Bring Andorra back.
Yes, I want them in.
Yeah.
I want them in the bloody final as well.
Yeah.
Not just back in. That's step one, guys.
Yeah.
Step two is we get them through to the final.
Make Andorra sing again.
That is exactly what we need it to be. So I don't have any money to do this.
No,
so instead, we're going to start a campaign of moral support.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe.
Just a pat on the back.
Just a lot of love. And also, I thought what I'd do is go through their previous 6 entries.
Okay, yes.
And critique them.
Oh, okay. So give them some advice.
Learn
yes.
what to do.
From
we're going to do this again.
From the UK.
From me specifically, because I'm correct.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do it again, let's make sure they don't waste their money.
Yeah.
They do it right. They get through the semi-finals. They don't have to win, but just get them through the bloody semi-finals, get them back in the competition and back in our hearts.
So you sent me an email, Isobel.
I did, with some video links in it. I told you we know how to play videos now.
It's the future, guys.
So we're going to go from start to finish. We're going to go through some of the Eurovision songs. Okay. So the first one, I'll tell you when to play it.
Okay, I won't play it yet.
So the first year they started was 2004, and their entrant was Marta Rohr. With the song pronunciation again.
Okay.
Jugarem Estimanos.
Okay.
So that translated means we'll be playing at loving each other.
Okay. Slightly contrived and long-winded.
Love it.
Yeah.
So this was their debut entry. And it's sung in Catalan, and this was the first time this language was performed in the contest. So that is the national.
Because what we learned was the.
Did we learn something?
Yeah, well, this is again. This little callback to the Cliff Richard episode is that the singer was originally going to sing in Catalan.
Oh yes, of
course. But then because General Franco didn't want that,
they changed the singer.
Any other business? Rewind. I referred to that person as a her. It was a man.
Oh,
I think it was called Juan, and I said Joan.
I really hope that's what it was. Sorry, Juan.
So this is why this is the first time it's been sung in Catalan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bloody Franco
we're
again.
Bloody
James Franco again.
Bloody James Franco.
Ruining Eurovision for all of us.
Gets everywhere,
with his dictatorships.
Dictatorshapes. That sounds like a dance.
That can be your next song. Dictatorshapes. Can't be too political though.
No,
don't
can't
forget.
be too political.
Okay, so we've got a little snippet of the song.
Yeah.
So if you want to play just a little chunk of song now.
Do you tell me when to stop? Okay.
Aquesta nit podrem ser el que vulguem mentre esperem que surti el sol. Vull que estiguem junts, que no deixem de jugar. Vull que em diguis jo t'estimo tot i no sé veritat. Vull que ens abracem, que disfrutem del moment.
Doesn't get any better.
Right, Okay, we'll just fade that out.
Just get rid of that.
I'll fade out.
So some of the lyrics there translated for any of you people that don't speak Catalan. I mean, come on, guys.
You idiots.
Catch up. Include, I want us to be together, that we don't stop playing. I want you to tell me I love you, even though it's not true. I want us to embrace each other, that we enjoy this moment and play. We'll play we're loving each other.
I quite like the play with words and the play with playing and loving each other. It's a bit long-winded, and it's one of those ones that by halfway through the night you go, oh yeah, Andorra were in it.
Oh, that song was there, wasn't it? Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah,
so the bit on the Wikipedia entry, it says the song is sung from the perspective of a woman who is saying to a man that she does not know why they are together and acting like they are close when they hardly know each other. She tells him that she knows that they are not in love, nor will they be afterwards, but is prepared to accept this even though she wants it to be more meaningful. Which isn't what I got from the song, reading the full lyrics. What I got from the song was we're not... Look, we're not going to be together forever. We're not in love, but let's pretend we're in love right now.
Let's enjoy it.
This is nice enough. This is one night.
Ooh.
You know, it doesn't sound like she wants it to be more meaningful. I didn't get that from it.
No.
But whatever.
Yeah.
I'd give it A+ for effort. I'd give it a D overall, though. It's not a great song. It gets
12?
very tiring.
4.
3.
3?
Yeah, 3, 4.
You are harsh with your
I
scores.
am. I'm sorry. I'm such a bitch.
Got high expectations.
So it's not for me.
Okay.
So I can kind of understand why that one. If I was to watch a Eurovision semi-final now,
wouldn't
or
go
even
for it.
2004, and saw that, I'd go, no.
So what? So Andorra could take away from that bit less wordy.
Bit less wordy.
Too
wordy. Much thought put into the lyrics there.
So write that down,
the lyrics
Andorra.
aren't very good, but keep the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Great enthusiasm.
She was good. A for effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay.
Next year, 2005.
Yeah.
Marianne van der Waal with La Mirada Interior. So this one, this song deals with the need to find one's own beauty before one can find it in the wider world.
Oh.
Hence the need for the inner look, which is the song's name.
Yes.
There was an English version of the song that was made that was titled "A Look Inside Yourself." I've discussed this on previous ones. Anything that's too
Sincere.
wet, too sincere, gross.
Josh the baby.
Come on, guy. Oh, Christ. Not good. And this isn't me just being biased. It is not good. So if you want to play a little bit of it
listen.
now.
Okay, here we go.
Don't you think they look like extras from an episode of Xena?
Oh, well, they do. There's a lot of man flesh on show.
Oh, plenty. Yeah, that one is bad song.
Yeah.
So, but again, some good points. So later on in the dance routine, I don't know if you got to the point on there, the hunky fleshy men.
They're very fleshy.
Which all four hunky fleshy men.
That's a point that you'd give them just for
keep the
flesh.
hunky fleshy men. They get out these like feather things and start wafting them around.
Wow.
That's very fun. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
With the context of the song. I think at the time, so I was watching these last night with my other half, and he was trying to look at the translation of the lyrics to see if there was something to do with birds as to why they'd got the feathers out. No.
Sometimes it's nice. It's not like a feather boa.
No, it's like what nudie burlesque ladies
like a big
do.
fan.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense.
So fleshy men with
fleshy
feather
men with feather fans. Yeah. So some of the lyrics translated for you include: "Open one by one the doors of the treasure, which is hidden inside your heart. Don't doubt it. Bathe in the calmness of the clear water, where you will find the essence of the one you want to be." No, Andorra, stop
shiver.
right now. And every other country thinking of doing a song similar, just bloody don't, because it's gross. They're horrible.
Sincere.
Too sincere. I don't want to sing it. I can't dance along to it.
Don't talk to me about bathing in your
calm, clear waters, mate.
That sounds horrible.
Dirty.
Sounds horrible. Sounds like what your mum would tell you, like where babies come from.
Yeah, it's not great. And as I said, they look like it's a scene from Xena Warrior Princess, where there's like they've gone into a tavern and there's a singer playing with her backing strumpets.
It's like, it looks like they it looks like they just sort of couldn't quite afford it, so sort of got their mums to like make the costumes.
It does look cheap, doesn't
and
it?
the men, they didn't finish in time, so they just went, go out in your gym shorts.
It just go out in your pants, it doesn't matter. We'll give you some feathers to cover up your nipples. It'll be all right.
And you got them halfway through the song.
Cover your shame up.
Oh, cover your shame. Cover your shame.
Yeah, there's not much I can give that one in terms of bonus points because it was just bad. So all I can give you in terms of advice, Andorra, is don't do that again.
Keep the fleshy men. Don't do that.
Just not good.
Okay. Number three.
Number 3, and my favourite of the bunch.
Oh, okay. This
is
is
in
looking up.
2006. So this is Sense 2 by Jenny. No surname.
All right,
just Jenny.
Jenny.
Which again falls under a category in England earlier this year. No, in 2016. Sorry, I keep forgetting it's a new year now. 2016, when we found out about that Polish entry that didn't get through. We were like, it's amazing. Who's it by? And the singer was just called Margaret. Which in England is very funny because Margaret's what your auntie's called.
Yeah. It's a very unassuming name.
Jenny's the girl that lives 2 doors down the road.
Oh, Jenny, she's nice.
Jenny, she's nice enough. Is
Oh,
Jenny.
by the way, she wrote a Eurovision Song Contest entry. Who's Jenny?
Jenny did.
Jenny down the road.
Jenny. Yeah, she's doing a duet with Margaret. Jenny and Margaret.
Jenny and Margaret are doing Eurovision. Yeah, for Andorra. Oh.
Makes sense. Yeah, but this one is great. So the song is a dramatic ballad with the singer describing herself as being at the end of the road without her lover. And she sings that she has no reason to live without him.
Oh, God.
So the song itself was, the performance of the song on Eurovision was criticised by fans and commentators as Jenny was surrounded by a number of dancers wearing white lingerie and Jenny herself performed in what looked like a black nightgown. I bloody love this one. Okay. So play a little clip.
Okay.
And you'll see what I mean. If you don't love it, we're never doing this podcast again. Because I think this is now Eurovision cult history. This is great.
If the show cuts now, you'll know what happened.
Because I've pulled all the wires out in fury.
Here we go.
Yes, Jenny.
Bloody hell.
Look at those dancers.
Jeez, it's like I'm at Peter Stringfellow's establishment or something. I've never been, I don't know what it's like. That's what I imagine.
It's not as classy as them, I can tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't this like a Bond song?
Yeah, it is.
How did this not get through to the finals?
How did this...
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Jeez, I feel like I shouldn't be watching it in front of you, Isobel. I'll stop that. Those women.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Watching that last night
something.
with my boyfriend, he, at this point, this is 3 songs in, he went, oh, they're such dramatic, the Andorrans, aren't they? Which, if you watch all of the videos,
It is very dramatic.
they are.
Yeah.
They love a bit
Yeah.
of drama. Watch all of it, because I just think it just got better and better in how ridiculous it is. These women, the dancing women, are just wearing white lingerie. But they are
suspenders and
throwing
everything.
themselves into this. Like, they are committed to looking bloody sexy the entire time. They do look sexy. Like, it doesn't look... They don't look gawky or awkward or... those singers from a couple of weeks back who I said looked like they were going out on Wakefield.
Yeah.
They look like sexy bloody women the entire time.
Andorran women.
I don't know how that didn't get them through on its own. The song is great. It sounds like a Bond song. Jenny is bloody brilliant too and is committed to it and nails it and just... I love all of it, and it's just so ridiculous having all these women in lingerie dancing around.
Yeah.
I don't know how it didn't get through to the finals. It wouldn't have won.
I think what happened was they had the song and they were worried the 2 entries before didn't make it through, so they went, right, what are we going to do? They got the song, cool, and they went, okay, let's just put a bunch of women in lingerie on. That'll get some votes, forgetting that a large proportion of the Eurovision and Eurovision viewing public are women and gay men.
Yeah, they forgot
who aren't really that interested in women in skimpy white lingerie doing dances on chairs.
No, but I still really liked it.
I mean, it's something to be proud of.
I think, annoyingly as well, I think that's their best one.
Yeah,
that got the least points of all of their entries. That did the worst. So it was predicted that it would qualify for the final, but it came 12th.
Wow.
In the
Well,
semi-finals.
maybe it was a really strong year.
Yeah, I really liked that one. So sorry, Jenny, if you're listening, bloody love you.
Keep going. Keep trying. Try again.
Get them women. Just
Get
do
them
it
women
again.
back.
Same song.
Same women. Same song.
Same setup. 2007, the next year along,
Yeah.
is the band Anonymous with Salvem El Mon. Now, this proves my previous point that life is not fair, because Jenny was amazing and got the least points of all Andorran entries. Anonymous are god awful and got the best. They came the closest of all the Andorran entries.
Anonymous.
They are so bloody.
It's such a shit name for a band as well.
Anonymous, the song, the translation is called Let's Save the World. Okay.
Sure,
and it was performed in Catalan and English by the first Andorran entry not to feature monolingual Catalan lyrics and not to be performed by a female soloist.
Oh, okay.
So all of the members, it's a pop punk, and I say that loosely. I use that term very
Pop
loosely.
punk called Anonymous.
It's a pop punk band called Anonymous.
Amazing.
It's a pop punk band that sings the song, and the lead singer Nicky sings about his disbelief at the state of the world. He's like 50.
You don't know shit, Nicky.
Shut up, Nicky.
Shut up, Nicky.
Remarking that the world is in danger and you don't do anything.
Fucking hell.
He thinks that this is because everyone is only interested in their own lives and is unwilling to do anything for the greater good. The theme of a call to action was made more explicit in the performance, with Nicky calling out, "Thank you, we can still save the world," after the song is finished, which is as toe-curlingly embarrassing as you can imagine. So we're going to just play a little bit of this. This is Andorra's best performing entry.
Oh.
Best performing.
Here we go. Anonymous.
They look like a poor man's Blink-182.
No,
They're like a terrible busted.
It looks like a school band that formed together. And
Which is basically what they are. They're very young, so I shouldn't be too mean. I also shouldn't be too mean, because actually it turns out that one of my boyfriend's friends on off dates one of the members of the band.
Still, are they still a band?
I don't know, they're not still a band anymore, but he still exists.
Well,
so I will try to be as polite as possible, but it's terrible. It's really bad. It's just not good.
It does look like the In-Betweeners formed a band.
It's just
the guitarist.
Yeah, so I'm not in the least a fan of Anonymous, and
No.
I think it's a travesty that they did so much better than Jenny.
Your advice would just be, don't get Anonymous back.
Don't try pop punk.
Yeah, pop punk's not. I mean,
Again, I find 2007, that was a bit late.
it's a bit late for pop punk.
Should have done that 4 years earlier.
Yeah,
mate.
I mean, Busted were around at that point, but it's not Green Day, Blink-182, is it? Number 5.
Number 5 is, I forgot to write down any information.
It doesn't even matter.
Fine. Number 5 in 2008 entry is Gisela with Casanova. So this was actually Other Arms' favourite, which I had slight issue with, because I really like Jenny.
Okay, yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm totally fine with him liking this one.
It's good to have disagreements in relationships. You
Not
can't
when it
always
comes to
agree.
pop music.
Oh
with me.
shit! Yeah, no, I
we've
know.
had this conversation.
Yeah, we have
before.
had this conversation.
What
Don't
did I
fuck
say?
with the guy before.
Oh yeah, well, someone I was dating said they didn't like pop music, and I was whinging about it. And someone said like, "Oh, at least he's not racist," and I was like, "This is worse than racist. Doesn't like pop music."
As soon as you told me that, I was like, "Oh, it's over." Ooh,
And it was
shame.
over
And it really
quite
was.
quickly.
Thank God for
Hi,
the new
Simon.
one.
Sure, he's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not listening to the podcast.
I'm sure he's not racist either. He might. No, he's not. No, he's
You
not
might
racist.
be.
He's not racist. He definitely doesn't like pop music. Though.
Okay, yeah.
Cut that down. Yeah, it's a very of its time, amazing Euro EDM pop track.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So put on a bit of it, you'll hear
Okay.
what I mean. It's great.
Okay. She looks like Christina Aguilera in Lady Marmalade.
She does. That's what I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
she does.
Do you not think the backing dancers look a little bit like drag queens? very toned down.
They all do a little bit. She does more so than any others. But
When they first started singing, when I watched it yesterday, I initially thought it was for men in low-key drag, and then realised it wasn't.
it'd be very progressive, but it's not.
No. Great song though, right?
Yeah, it is. It's like you say. It's that classic Eurovision EDM-y, happy.
Casanova. I've been singing it in my head all day.
Casanova's a great subject for a song.
Right?
Yeah,
Love making.
yeah. God, that was right in my ears.
Yeah, that's another great one. So, again, don't really know why that one didn't get through the semi-finals. That must have been a tough year, because I think that's a banger. And
Yeah.
there's quite, or I was about to say, there's been tons of Eurovision songs that have sounded like that. Or maybe that's why it didn't get through. But I think there's been ones since 2008 that have sounded like that.
And I guarantee you that
Who
there's
doesn't
a
like
worse...
a Euro pop banger?
And I guarantee there's a worse sounding song that was in the Eurovision that year.
Okay.
Number 6.
And last
The
one.
last one.
2009. This is Suzanne Gheorghi with La Teve. With La Teva Decisio, which is Get a Life.
What?
Apparently, the
Get a
translation
Life?
of that is Get a Life.
That sounds mean.
Yeah, this. They're the least. I mean, I was mean about Anonymous. This is bad. This is by far the worst of the bunch.
Uh-oh.
It is like an Andorran Dixie Chicks without talent. It's not good.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of it on.
Okay.
You'll hear it's bad.
Okay, here we go.
You've got to get a life, that's what you say to me. But I would rather cry if you're not in it with me. I'm gonna get a life, the kind that's made for two. I know there's only
Ooh.
one. I wanna
She's saying it with real malice behind her eyes. She's got a smile on her face that looks painted on. It looks kind of scary.
It's just not good.
I feel like someone's wronged her.
I think she looks as well. Do you not think she looks a bit like... She looks like a divorced mum who's like gone out on the pull in Huddersfield. Do you know?
But that someone's turned her down and she's just gone like, I don't fucking need you anyway. Oh.
It's just bad. And there's two women either side of her pretending to play the guitar and bouncing around. And
Yeah.
they're all wearing white, and it's just an embarrassment to everyone.
She doesn't look happy behind the eyes.
I couldn't. It was really unbearable to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, no.
So again, advice is don't have outfits that horrible.
Okay. So that's the thing.
I really want Andorra to come back. So this is a genuinely heartfelt plea that if anyone from Andorra is listening, or just anyone wealthy who wants to just do something fun, you know, like when rich people just buy a football team. I want to find a rich person who's willing to invest in an Andorran Eurovision entry, get them back in, we'll get them some clothes, we'll get a good song, something fun, something upbeat, and we will get them bloody well back into the Eurovision Song Contest and get them through the semi-final into the final. That is my task.
Make Andorra sing again.
Make Andorra sing again. That is the name of our campaign. We can do it, guys. We want everyone involved, invested in this. Maybe we'll start a Kickstarter campaign or something. I don't know. See how much money we can raise for them. I love Andorra.
Yes.
Not all of their songs, but I love them.
Andorra.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We've learnt something new there as well. Andorra. Yep. It's not just a ski resort.
It's not. It's a failed Eurovision entry as well.
That should be their tourist board.
Not just
Andorra.
a ski resort.
It's not just a ski resort. It is, though. If you want to ski, come here.
We do have skiing. Don't forget the skiing.
Thank you so much, Isobel. That was beautiful. And I really appreciate you writing that in a jet-lagged state. So that was beautiful. So we're going to move on with
time for your song.
Time for my song. Now
I'm so looking forward to this. I missed it.
I'm so hoping that I can make up for the awful. I did a public apology for it. It was not good. It got a 1. It deserved a 1. I've taken the lyrics and we're gonna I've put them into the archives, and at some point I'll dust them off and discover them again, and we can work something with it.
Good.
But I was busy exactly one night ago, sat in my car just up the road in South London, belting out another potential Eurovision smash hit. There's not much behind this one. It's not a. You're right.
Just about the microphone. Sorry.
It's not a Love on the Nightline inspired moment. It was. It's my attempt at a Eurovision classic.
Okay.
Should we just go straight into it?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Does it have a name?
Yes, this song is called. And I wrote this down, and now I'm not so sure about it. This song is called "I Taste the Air."
Oh.
Here we go.
Okay.
I taste the air.
Breathe the air with me. Let it fill all our lungs. Give a voice for the young. We can make them see. Oh, breathe, please breathe, and stand next to me. May our voices last forever as we take one breath together. I taste the air, and I know I will bring peace wherever I go. They can never stop my cry like before. I can see me crashing down on their door. And I feel you there, and I scream. Together we can make the world in our dreams. Let us be the voice of sick and poor. I can feel the pressure building up more. And still I breathe in ecstasy. We can do all we can change all their plans if you breathe with me. So breathe, please breathe, and you soon will see. We can change the world for better if we all breathe in together.
I am bloody impressed.
Whoa!
I am well into that one. That is a legit Eurovision song.
Sat in my car last night belting out.
That could be like the Russian entry.
Yeah, it's
That
very
loses to Sweden because
Yeah.
no one really wants Russian to win. But it's a great song, and you love it, but you hate it because it's Russia. But you're well behind it anyway.
Yeah, so I wrote it, and then I don't know, and I was going to check with you. Does taste the air mean like smelling a fart? Is that something you say? Because it sounds like it could be.
A little bit.
Like when you fart really bad and you go, oh, I can taste it. Sorry for the toilet humor. Because I wrote a whole song about it now and I can't change it. So if it is,
Oh my god.
I don't want it to affect the score if that's what it does mean. I feel like I should have told you after you gave me a score.
No, I'm not gonna let that affect the score because
And also, what I could see a country like doing a translation that is like that they don't know is like
Yeah.
a phrase for taste of fart, and yet we all go, that means farting.
no, I'm not gonna let that affect the score because I think it's great. Because I don't think that would be the UK's entry.
No,
I think that would be a
no.
different
I
country's.
went Europe for this one. I went. This
that's
is
definitely
Europe.
I really liked it.
I thought, because I thought, and again for this one, and I was sort of pandering again to you, but I'm also pandering the ones the songs that you then go to a club in somewhere in the coast in Europe and you heard it being played in a club and you're like, holy shit, this is a great song. That's what I'm attempting to get this done.
No, I'm well into it. I think that genuinely did sound like a. That genuinely did sound like a Eurovision entry from somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Sung
in my car. In my car at 1:30.
I really liked it. Okay.
So have a little think. I'm fucking hope I've made up for Euro Girl. Oh, poor Euro Girl. Here we go. She's having a thing. She's working out the words in French. Okay, here we go. Isobel, what would you give Taste the Air?
What's 11 in French?
Shut up! Oh, I don't know.
Ons?
Ons douze. Yeah, ons.
Ons.
Ons. Ons.
11.
Yay!
I'm going to give it 11.
Holy crap. So I topped the other one. I've forgotten the name. It doesn't even matter anymore. I topped it.
United We Dance, Divided We Fall.
Yeah.
So I love United We Dance, Divided We Fall.
Yeah.
That was a great concept. Great Eurovision song.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be less
Mean.
voting for me and more voting
for Europe.
And I think that would get very high scoring across the board.
If we had good PR, if I went round and charmed everyone,
I think it would just do very well anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was a good Eurovision song. I think that would get top marks for a lot of people. Yeah.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. An 11-pointer. Still not quite a perfect 12. I think when we get a 12, we'll just send it out to everyone. Send it to Graham Norton. Send it to the Terry Wogan estate. Someone will know what to do with it there.
And we're going to have as well, we're going to do a rundown at some point of all the songs, because I, for one, and from speaking to a couple of other people, will go back onto other podcasts and try and listen to the song again to be reminded of it. And some of them I just sing in my head, so I want to have a listen to them again.
I love these.
So we're going to go through. We're going to do maybe a mini episode that goes through maybe 10 of them in one go, and we'll relook at my scoring and maybe some of that.
Maybe adjust some of those.
I was a bit judgy.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening.
It's so nice to be back.
It's so good to be back, and it's really nice to do another episode. And as we said at the start, it's really great to hear from you as well. And we've got 3 main channels that we can do that through. If you want to send us an email, and Jesus, thanks so much for sending us compliments, but can someone send us a song, please?
Yeah, if anyone has a song to help Roland out, because I don't do anything to the songs.
I'm doing all right.
It's just him that does them. But thank you so much for the compliments. Keep sending me compliments. Send him songs and send me compliments.
So send them.
I love them.
Send them to europhoriapodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. You can also follow us on Twitter. I just put a picture up of Isobel eating pizza in a gloriously unelegant way. So if you want to look at that, go on to Twitter. We are at EurophoriaCast.
And I look after our Instagram account, which is Europhoria Podcast. And I will put up pictures of what we've been talking about. I'll put up a picture of the Cliff Richard book that I gave Roland and the little key ring that I gave him too. Every Wednesday is Jedness Day, so we celebrate Jedward, as they should always be celebrated at least once a week. And occasionally topless pictures of Mons, just because it's really nice to look at. So if you're into that, follow us on Instagram too.
Yeah, do that. And thank you again. Thank you so much for listening. And as we say at the end of every podcast, you'll never guess what Jenny's up to. She's been
bloody having it off with Margaret, hasn't she?
Oh, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.